What's going on, the Winners Win podcast? Your boy Loso 2.0, the copy guy himself. And today, we're going to talk about 4 fundamental methods of delivering an address or a speech. But before we do that, let's do some housekeeping things. Please click that subscribe button below. Like this video, share it, comment below. If you listen to this on any podcast platform, 5-star reviews only, get the job done. And of course, leave a review below because I love to read your reviews and see how I can better myself and better my podcast. But before we do that, I like to do little updates with everything. So as far as business goes, just by being genuine. Oh my gosh. So I had 2 people hit me back today. So one was a marketing opportunity and stuff. You guys know I do marketing as well. And an opportunity to work side by side by this guy and his owner to try to build out advertisements and do all these things with them. So that is going to be super, super fun to do. Exciting work as well to try to just keep bettering myself and keep, helping out with what I got going on. The second opportunity was also speaking at a middle school. Had someone reach out to me. They told me kind of a little bit about the details, and then we're going to get into details about how I can get in and help everybody else with that as well. Speak in front of the youth, man. I'm finally, things are starting to come together, right? I started off, things are just starting to come together, right? I put my stuff into what I'm achieving in 2023, and everything is starting to slowly come together, and it's only the beginning. Like I'm telling you, this stuff is about to really blow up. Like I'm really about to blow up. I was working on my website a lot earlier, getting that stuff together, but I'm telling you, stuff is about to blow up. It's about to hit the fan, and it's about to be crazy. It is definitely about to be crazy for my business going. Got more of my friends reached out to my father-in-law, right? So my father-in-law is actually going to keep talking to me about real estate and stuff. I'm going to kind of get with him and stuff about how to invest in real estate, get that stuff going. So that's exciting as well. Started working on stuff with my credit card and also just a lot of financial literacy stuff that I'm trying to get into, especially now that I'm reading that Tony Robbins book. And I know I show it I probably bring it up every episode, but it really is gold. Steve Forbes is on this. Talked about it. We got Carl Icahn, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Wynn. It's just all these people, like these top millionaires and billionaires, actually talking about how great the book is. So I just have to keep talking about it. It's literally a gold mine and how it can help work with my financial freedom. And of course, it has a lot of stuff with mindset because that's where it all starts, right? Wealth is a mindset. And then there's also definitely guided steps to do it, but that's only 20% of it. Literally majority, 80% or so is just mindset, which also comes into your environment and who you surround yourself with. It's your diet. Your diet is what type of stuff do you put inside your body, whether that's your food, whether that's your knowledge, whether that's the music you listen to, what you read. My fault. As you guys know, I'm a big ice eater. Like, I literally absolutely love ice. My wife will probably say it's unprofessional doing this on a podcast episode, but I like to be myself on these episodes. I like for you guys to see the genuine Los, but also see that I have knowledge to share with you guys as well. So that's that. At work today, had some more challenges that I was kind of talking about too as well, right? Like I told you, it's all about how can you, what's the word I want to say? Change. I talked about change, right? But remember to set your boundaries, right? And just have expectations. Now, there's a fine line between expectations and then going crazy with power. My wife definitely tries to remind me of that every single day, but you also do want to have expectations, right? Set boundaries. You don't have to be a dictator, but you definitely have to set boundaries, right? And that goes for yourself. If you can't set boundaries for yourself, how can you set boundaries for someone else? That's the reason why I set boundaries for other people. That's the reason why I can set expectations for other people, because I have so high expectations of myself. So no one can be harder on me than I am of myself. So if no one can be harder than me than I am on myself, then what makes you think I might have somebody else harder on me or someone else, doing that? I apologize. There's no one else that's harder than me on myself than myself. So I'll let somebody else do that. Let me read this ice. But anyway, 4 fundamental methods of delivering an address. I'm going to tell you the 4, and then we're going to go back through and talk about each one. Excuse me, eating ice. 1, reading from a manuscript. So literally reading word for word off a piece of paper. 2, committing the written speech and speaking from memory. Number 3, speaking from notes. And number 4, an extemporaneous speech. And then I'm going to give you a bonus one, which is number 5, which is really just a mixture of those 4 different types or fundamental methods of delivering an address. Now, each one has its pros and cons and things that I'm also going to talk about throughout this episode. But you want, sometimes you may want to mix and match every single one. It kind of going with that monotony, right? Fighting off monotony. Being able to have a variety when you're speaking, a variety when you're doing, right? So, reading from manuscript. That's literally reading word for word. I wrote this down and actually reading off a piece of paper. I could tell you for a fact that's going to give you some type of monotony to you. Now, there's 4 reasons why someone wouldn't even read from a manuscript. Number 1, laziness. They honestly just don't feel like, they just feel like it's easier to just read off and not really go in there and put that emotion, pour that emotion, that heart, that soul into the speech. So that could be one reason why you're just too lazy to do it. Number 2 is bad memory. Some people are just getting older. Maybe you got dropped on the head of baby. I don't know. But listen, some people just really cannot memorize what they have to speak about. And honestly, you know, I can't blame them. Sometimes we got so many things going on with life. Our memory is probably getting depleting or getting worse and worse and worse as the years go on because of all this stuff that they basically put into our face, right? Number 3, lack of time. They actually really don't have the time to prepare a speech that is super engaging, super emotional, has that drive into it. They probably don't have the time to do that stuff. So if they don't have the time to do that stuff, guess what they're going to do? They're going to read it off a manuscript, maybe have someone write it for them, or they may write the manuscript themselves, but most likely they probably have someone write it for them because if they already lack time to do that, they don't really got time to write a whole speech out. But the 4th one is the speech is too important to mess up. So they are so worried about messing up on a speech, so worried about the speech not being good enough that they actually don't just, they don't just use the other 3 methods. They just literally just read word for word. Now, committing to the written speech and speaking from memory. These people who literally memorize in it. Now, you have to think of actors in a sense, right? They memorize scenes, they memorize this, and then they go out there and do it. That's just having a good memory. A great way to try to practice a way to memorize something is to keep writing it down, right? So the more you keep writing it down, so every single day, this was actually a method that was used when trying to learn marketing or copywriting. To kind of learn the flow of it is to rewrite proven sales letters that actually worked before. My fault. So it's the same thing with speeches. If you want to memorize a speech, you have to rewrite it down over and over and over again. Number 3, speaking from notes. Now, this isn't literally written down all the way. You may just have index cards and just have basic things to talk about. Okay, talk about this. Okay, now what's this? Now what's that? You go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. You slow down. Sometimes you speed up. You know, you got all the notes down to know what to follow. And then the 4th one is extemporaneous speech. A lot of people like to say that's just unprepared speech. But no, it's kind of like these speeches that I do right here, right? When I'm posting on my YouTube channel, I'm not reading right off of anything. I'm just telling you guys pretty much, I'm just not reading off anything. I'm just going with the flow with a lot of it, but then I also have some notes as well, which goes to the 5th one when you mix it up. I got some notes to speak from. I add my own little twist into it. I add my own story into it. The beginning of it is really extemporaneous. Then after that, it kind of goes into notes. Then it goes into me also going back into extemporaneous and talking about each point or each thing that I have going on. So you can mix them is probably the best idea that you can do. So that's all I really have for you guys for this episode. I want you guys to keep killing the day. And remember, you pray for success like this. 2.0 out.